Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
Yo, what's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I'm Scott Foster.
Yes, sir. And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, man. Excited, man. We pumping out content, man. You know what I'm saying? We just put in another great one on my other platform, 28 Minutes or Less. And we actually came up with this idea of doing that, man. So this is great, man. I'm ready for this.
Yes, sir. Make sure that y'all subscribe, man. Make sure that, you know what I'm saying, y'all follow us on social media. At the end, we're going to plug all our stuff, man. Make sure you follow us on our other podcast platforms as well. And make sure you share this with a friend, man. If you love movies and you got a friend that loves movies, this is your podcast. You know what I'm saying? This one is for you. So what we getting into today, man? What we doing?
Man, we're doing a little different this time. Usually we pick one movie and we just pretty much break down that movie. But this time, man, we're gonna do a trilogy, man. We're gonna do Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises, man. And when it comes to these three movies, all three of them was done by a guy. Me and you, we talk about them all the time. Well, we mention their name all the time as far as the brothers. But like, this was so different from all the other DC movies that came out. It is. But yeah, it is so different from the rest of them, and they dropped the ball on a lot of DC movies. It's
on a lot. You mean all of
them? But that's the thing though, is it because Marvel is such on a run, making all the DC movies look that bad? You don't think so?
I think that when it comes to DC movies, right? I forgot who made this point, and I forgot what I was listening to, but the whole point of the whole difference between Marvel and DC is that Marvel is like real places. So, like, when you talk about Spider-Man, he's from Queens. When you talk about Captain America, he's from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about, you talk about Luke Cage, he's from Harlem.
Even Luke Cage.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's from Harlem. When you talk about, you know what I'm saying? Like, when they show Tony Stark in the movie, he living in California on the coastline. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where his house is. So, like, it's so the movies and the stories are much more relatable. You know what I mean? With DC, it's kind of hard to do certain movies like, and really this is why I think this trilogy is like one of the best products DC has ever put out. Because first and foremost, let's talk about Gotham, right? Gotham is, for the most part, it's probably one of the hardest places to do a movie about because it's always dark. Anytime we've seen Gotham, it's always dark, except for in this trilogy. I don't remember any of the other Batman movies to where it was daytime in Gotham. Like every time they show Bruce Wayne out and about, or anytime they show, well, Batman of course comes out at night, he a bat, but anytime they show Bruce Wayne at an event or anything like that, it was always at night. So when we see this trilogy, it's like, you know what I'm saying, we see Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne driving in his Lamborghini, saving somebody's life, but it's in the daytime this time. So I think that this trilogy kind of changed that whole thing, and that's why it kind of stuck out from all the rest of the DC movies. For the other ones, it's like with Superman, he lives in Metropolis, but it's like that's so, you know what I'm saying, like that's so PC cookie cutter. It's like Metropolis could be anything. Metropolis could be downtown, downtown Chicago. It could be downtown New York. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It could be anything, and there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no additions to it. And then, like, when you think of the heroes of DC, like Superman, in real life, bro, Superman don't have no, like, if Superman was a real life superhero, right? Like, he would be Homelander from The Boys in real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no fucking like match for him. And then so, like, you know what I'm saying, we hear about Wonder Woman, like even Wonder Woman, like there's no match for fucking Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's a fucking demigod. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then to have it like the most unrealistic thing in the world in the Justice League is that Batman has a contingency plan for everybody in the fucking Justice League. Like, who the fuck wants to be teamed up with a dude like that? Like, we all supposed to be out here saving lives. You worried about if we gonna flip on everybody or not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's so much bullshit that goes along with DC. Like, to me, I feel like they made them like too perfect.
Yeah, to a point, yeah, because now I do remember in one scene of Batman with Michael Keaton when the Penguin was running for mayor or governor, whatever he was running for.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was one time where there was out in the daylight and he was Bruce Wayne. And like they was like watching like the Penguin give a speech, and that was.
But even then, it was like a gloomy ass day.
Yeah, it was like cloudy.
Yeah,
it was cloudy as fuck.
Who the fuck wants to live there?
Yeah, it's crazy. Now, what I have noticed, if I'm not mistaken, Gotham City is quote unquote Pittsburgh, right?
No, it's New York.
It's New York.
Yeah, Gotham City is New York.
It looked like it was in Pittsburgh for some odd reason. I thought it was in Pittsburgh. And see, another thing that made me think it was Pittsburgh because you remember in Dark Knight Rises, they had the Steelers, and it's the three. What they call it? The Three River. Three River Bridge. What they call that shit?
I don't remember. I just was excited at the fact that that their stadium blew up. You know what I'm saying? I was geeked about that. So,
the way they did that, man, that was hard, man.
That was beautiful.
He went back and kickoff return, and then this one turn around and everybody go.
That was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? That made me so happy.
Dude, and just that scene, and like I say, I do this, man. It's like when you watch so many movies, man, you kind of like, not that you lose touch with reality, it's just kind of like you just see so much stuff, and it's like it brings up other things. And what it did is that one part reminded me of. Have you ever seen The Last Boy Scout? Oh man, you just said, dude, like The Last Boy Scout was Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis, and like long story short, like Bruce Willis was basically the last Boy Scout because he was in the Secret Service, but he ended up getting kicked out, and he's like becomes this investigator dude. And Damon Wayans, he was a former quarterback, but he got cooped up on like coke and all this type of stuff. So they ended up having to team up to like rescue his daughter. But anyway, Billy Blanks was playing like this running back, right? And so he's this running back, and he was in some gambling debt, and they wasn't playing well. It was in the rain. They weren't playing well. And so at halftime, he got a phone call from the people that betted all this money on him. And so the second half come out, he still was having a bad game. So the game was about to be over. He knew that they was going to kill him because he didn't perform up to the thing where they would win the bet. So this motherfucker, he gets the pass, and this is the crazy part. He runs over two people, clean run over them, and then he pulls a gun out of his girdle and starts shooting motherfuckers on the football field. And so then he gets to the end zone, and like everybody just stand there and look at him, and he was like, "Life's a bitch, ain't it?" And then he blows his head off. But like it was just like the way that he ran into the end zone after he shot people, it just reminded me of when that damn stadium blew up and he turned around and looked and it was gone. It ain't even the same two scenarios, but it just reminded me of that. But the Last Boy Scout, good movie. It came out, like 98, 97, something like that. That was when Bruce Willis still put out some good heat. That was around the Die Hard days. It was up in there. Yeah. But that was totally
Bruce Willis he came out with some great movies. Speaking of Bruce Willis, the Red 1 and 2.
Yeah.
When they was all old, that shit was good. That shit was real good.
Yeah,
John Malkovich is my dude in that movie. Yeah, but John Malkovich, he be having me rolling in that fucking movie. He showed his ass in the movies.
John Malkovich is a clown, dude, and it's like everything he's playing, he's like the same guy. Like even when he was in Bird Box.
Oh, he was in that?
Yeah, he was in Bird Box. Like he was just different. Like he's just different. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he always.
Did you ever watch Being John Malkovich?
I seen parts of it. I never seen it all the way through.
Great movie. That's what made me like John Malkovich. The fact that he had to do that movie was amazing. But you know what I'm saying, man? I think going back to the question, you know what I'm saying? I think that, you know what I'm saying? Basically just DC is just, I know I said it's too perfect, but I want to elaborate on that. Like, there's no room for creativity in those movies, right? So Wonder Woman came out, and we just talked about it. We said that, you know what I'm saying, that's one of the best movies that came out of this recent, I guess, series of movies that DC has put out. And, you know what I'm saying, they came out with the Batman movie. The Superman movie. Then they did Batman versus Superman. Then they did what was next? Suicide Squad, then Justice League, Wonder Woman, Aquaman. Am I missing one?
Birds of Prey.
They got the new Wonder Woman coming out. I think that's all of them, right?
That's yeah. I think so.
So for me, I felt like that with Wonder Woman. I think Wonder Woman was so good because it was, you knew where they were. You know what I'm saying? It was realistic, right? So like, it's not real. I'm not gonna say realistic, but the locations were realistic. Like they were going to England, they were going to Germany. You know what I'm saying? They was fighting the Nazis. You know what I'm saying? Like they had places that you can, you know what I'm saying, you can relate to. You can see certain shit happening, and then you know what I'm saying. You knew the time period was, you know what I'm saying, from 42 to 45 or whatever, around that, you know what I'm saying, time frame. And then, you know what I'm saying, with Aquaman, I think it's a little bit better because I think that left them a little bit of room for creativity because, you know what I'm saying, you was in Atlantis most of the time. So with, you know what I'm saying, with those two, you can kind of, you know what I'm saying, you can kind of just do some different things around that. But I think where they drop the ball is they don't stay on par with the storylines. They try to like stuff a whole bunch of shit into one movie. So, like, for instance, Batman versus Superman. In Batman versus Superman, they had Batman and Superman fighting, and then in the end, they added in the Doomsday storyline. So, like, Doomsday was created, and he killed Superman. So the death of, well, I'm sorry, I keep saying Doomsday. I always say Doomsday because that's my favorite DC villain. But the death of Superman storyline is what it's actually called. So that storyline comes into play in Batman versus Superman. And then they also had like traces of apocalypse coming or whatever. So like in one of the scenes in Batman versus Superman, I think it's when is it Batman versus Superman? Or is it Justice League? I want to say it's Batman versus Superman. It's one of the scenes where he talking to the Flash or whatever. and then or he interacting with the Flash somehow. I forgot how it go per se, but he ended up basically seeing into the future, and it's like the part where he in the back of the truck like selling weapons or some shit like that, and then they like ended up trading on him. But when he gets off of the back of the truck, or when he opens the door to the back of the truck, it's a big ass Omega symbol in the ground, which is like supposed to be the symbol for Apocalypse in DC. So it's like they try to add too much shit in there, like Suicide Squad. They messed up the storyline of how Suicide Squad was supposed to go. So instead of them teaming up to go get Joker, they teamed up to fight the Witch Lady or whatever. So it's way too much going on.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. But like these are the ones that I felt like they got right, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Nolan brothers. And I mean, like even the way the Dark Knight started, like, dude, it was, I mean, this dude just standing on a corner with a jacked up suit on, mask on, you know what I'm saying? Suburban comes scoop him up, and then it's like, so these dudes talking, and they're talking about the Joker, and it's like, okay, you know, so they're getting people together, they're doing their job, and then boom, dude shoots somebody. Like, okay. So, you know, that's what criminals do. You know, you do the job we want you to do, we get you out of here. Like, you know, that's less of money that we got to pay people. Like, all right, so I'm thinking it's a good idea. So then, you know, you get to the point where they finally get into the bank robbery. Then, you know, you always got the one guy to say, you know, do you know who you stealing from? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's that mob talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know who you stealing from type thing? And so, long story short, he put, like, the one guy knows, he was like, yo, I know you gonna shoot me. He was like, it was something like that. And he was like, no, I was supposed to kill the bus driver. And all of a sudden, this damn bus just busts into this bank. And then the one dude that said, do you know you stealing from? He says something else to the Joker. Joker goes up to him, put the damn thing in his mouth, jump into the bus, and then he just miraculously pull out. In between all these other buses was 20 buses going down the damn street. Police come down, know what they do. And so it's like, like for it just like to start like that, and like you get the introduction of Heath Ledger playing the Joker. It was just like, yo, and it's like every time I see Heath Ledger, it's like, dude, I see my man from 10 Things I Hate About You. It's like, like you just can't pitch. Like me personally, I couldn't picture him as Joker, and it was just, that's what made it so great to me. It was because like anytime you see somebody outside of their element that far, and for them to be able to pull it off the way that he did, it's like, yo, like you knew you was in for it, and it was just like this is different. Like this ain't like, because I've seen what it was 3. Was it 3 with Michael Keaton? Or was it 2? I think it was 2. Batman and Batman Returns. Yeah, so it was just 2.
Because the first one was him and Jack Nicholson. The second one was him, Danny DeVito, and
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer, yeah.
Yeah, she was Catwoman. Yeah, so it was 2 with him.
And
so
then it
was
like
3
with George Clooney.
Now, see, I never got into the one with George Clooney.
Horrible.
Yeah, they were
As
bad.
a kid, they were amazing. As an adult, trash.
Yeah, you go back and you look at it, and it's like, nah. And it was like, you see, it's like, oh man, this is different. Like this don't feel like the Michael Keaton Batman. Like right off there, it was like, and then to start it with the Joker, and instead of starting it with Batman, I like that idea as well.
Well, the good thing about it is, you know what I'm saying, with The Dark Knight is that it's the second installment. So, you know what I'm saying, by this time we know enough about the Batman to, you know what I'm saying, to not have to see him first. I think that, like you said, starting off with Joker was brilliant because now we kind of know who the, you know what I'm saying, we know who the antagonist is in this movie. I think what the surprise was in The Dark Knight was Two-Face. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected Two-Face to, you know what I'm saying, be a part of this movie, you know. And with the first Dark Knight, and even with the first Dark Knight, with Batman Begins, and then even with The Dark Knight Rises, each movie had two villains. That I think that was one of the things that the Nolan brothers did that was very, very intelligent. Because I think it started with Batman Returns, the second Keaton movie, where that was the first time we seen two villains. Because remember, in the original Batman, the one with Michael Keaton, it was just the Joker. There was nobody else.
Yep.
And then in the Batman, the George Clooney Batman, there was no Joker at all.
Yep.
So Joker never had made an appearance. And then for this trilogy, or this new series of Batman, to come and bring Joker into it was, first and foremost, me personally, right? Because the Joker is my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a villain guy. I love villains in the comic books because to me the villains always are the most logical ones. You know what I'm saying? They always, well, besides Joker, but usually they're the most logical. They're the ones I usually relate to. And so with this villain, you know what I'm saying, bringing Heath Ledger into this, he was basically the to me, I felt like he was the most exciting Joker. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as just going in depth and playing the character. But I think that he's the second best Joker. I think that Jack Nicholson's Joker was way better. Only because he gave you that silliness of the Joker, but he still kind of gave you that seriousness of the Joker too. I felt like Heath Ledger's Joker was a lot more serious than he was like clownish. And to me, like, you gotta have that mix. Like with Jared Leto, like to me that's the worst Joker ever. Like there was no, you know what I'm saying? Like there was no mix in between that. Like that was just a horrible, horrible Joker. But between Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson, I think it's 1A and 1B. You know what I'm saying? But I think with Heath Ledger being the Joker in this movie, you know what I'm saying, like him being able to go in depth into that character and actually, you know what I'm saying, do what he did with that character was amazing. The Batman Begins movie, which is where all of this in this trilogy starts, I think that is amazing to bring in Ra's al Ghul and also bring in the Scarecrow, because to me that's like starter villains. You know what I'm saying? Like it's tiers to the villainy in the movies or whatever, in the comic books. And I think that those are two great villains to start with, because Scarecrow is not really, you know what I'm saying, like he's not really a guy you really got to worry about. If you stop him from getting chemicals, you know what I'm saying, he really can't do shit. And then with Ra's al Ghul, he's actually on a whole nother level, because like he can die and come back to life. Like, you know what I'm saying, he the leader of the League of Shadows. Like it's a whole bunch of shit that follows, you know what I'm saying, behind Ra's al Ghul's story. And then, you know what I'm saying, so we see how Batman is, you know what I'm saying, initiated into the League of Shadows in the first one. We see how, you know what I'm saying, he's basically being trained to be an assassin, but, you know what I'm saying, we see where he gets his ability to fight from. We see where he gets his ability to use weapons and shit from. And then, you know what I'm saying, he goes on to save the day or whatever in the first one. And, you know what I'm saying, like, I think it was a great start. And then to, you know what I'm saying, usher in the Joker and all of that chaos into the second one was a great way to follow up with that. Because, you know what I'm saying, Batman Begins is kind of boring. You know what I mean? It ain't no secret. Like, a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, unless you really into the shit, like, you ain't gonna really care about Batman Begins. Most people always talk about The Dark Knight. And then, you know what I'm saying, to have that, and then to bring in Harvey Dent, to show Harvey Dent in the beginning as himself, as the DA, and then show how he eventually ends up getting turned into Two-Face, is an amazing way to bring all of that, you know what I'm saying, together. I think that was a great mix. That was a great mix.
That it was. I would say now Jack Nicholson, he had more comedic moments, but Heath Ledger had a few, like when he walked into when the gangsters was having their meeting, and he walked in, he was like I like walking in, and he was like, let me show you like a magic trick. And he was like, I'm gonna make this pencil disappear, and it was just like like it was funny, but it wasn't funny. Like even though a dude just got his head smashed into a damn pencil, so it was like. But like he did it like in a funny way because like he was like dancing around. So and then and then he had like another one where it was just kind of like where he was talking like his comedic. It wasn't more of the dancing around and stuff like Jack Nicholson did. His was kind of that. What's my man name? Oh man, my man from the breakup. Vince Vaughn. It was more of like a Vince Vaughn type of serious type of funny thing.
For sure. I think with Heath Ledger, his shit was all timing. That's what made everything he did funny because it was all timing in that movie. Like to me, one of the funniest thing that he did in that movie, right, was when he was in the holding cell or whatever, and he was about to get interrogated, or he was getting interrogated by the police. And then Batman walk in, and the first thing Batman do is slam his head on the desk, and he get up. He started laughing. He was like, "You can't hit people in the head, make their memory all fuzzy." Like that was one of the, you know what I'm saying? Like that was one of the things where it was like that was great timing. Because like for him to take that and then wake up and say, get up and say that, like you ain't gonna expect motherfuckers like, come on, man. But like for him to be like, make their memory all fuzzy, like that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, and like that one time when he had the TV reporter guy, and he was like, I'm going to kill a person until Batman show his face, something like that. And he was like, I'm a man of my word. And he just started laughing. It was just like he had like a few of them, like when he was talking to Harvey Dent. And this is one thing, and I was thinking about this the other day. So he was talking to Harvey Dent when he had his face all jacked up. And so he was saying that, he's like, do I look like a man that has a plan? He was like, I'm like a dog that's chasing like a truck or something. He was like, I'm all crazy. And he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I actually get the truck. He was like, that's basically me. You playing that bank robbery, man. What are you talking about? You say you're the man that got no plan, but that shit worked out perfectly.
No. So that, I'm glad you brought that up. So this is basically, right, this is why I'm so glad that they got a hold of these movies, because to me the Nolan brothers, they do real great jobs at telling stories within stories. So what a lot of people don't understand about the Joker is he only has one thing that he wants Batman to do, and that's kill somebody. He knows Batman doesn't kill, so if he can get Batman to kill somebody, then it's all said and done. But Batman also knows that he can't stop Joker, because if he stops Joker, then what is he gonna do? That's really the basis of this movie. The basis of these movies, the basis of this movie, as far as The Dark Knight, is there's a duality in this. Like you see the good and evil, but you see how they need each other in this movie, right? So like, what he was basically saying was just like, I don't have a plan. I'm just doing this shit because I'm sick of this shit. Like who gonna stop me?
He said it's fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who gonna stop me? I can basically do whatever I want to do, and I don't give a fuck how many times Batman whoops my ass. He's not gonna kill me. And even if I get locked up, they're gonna get me out. So it's just like it's for him. It's a chase. It's like the pretty girl in high school. Like she like you, but she don't want you to be her boyfriend because she like the, you know what I'm saying, you do all the nice things for her when you ain't her boyfriend because you're trying to get her. So that's basically what it is. He's enjoying the chase. He's enjoying that interaction between him and Batman. Batman is more so just like, dude, I'm trying to calm this motherfucker down. That way he don't, you know what I'm saying, hurt nobody else. And then the Joker is just like, yo, I can stop all this shit today as long as you know something you got to do is just kill somebody.
Yeah. And to bring up the point, like about the Two-Face, because like, and that's another plan. Like everything was set up so perfectly, like and like putting Batman in these positions, put in those positions of like, okay, I'm gonna put. He knew, like he was trying. Batman's whole objective was to get Gotham to a certain point to where he can stop being the Batman, so he can be with Rachel. And he saw
he never wanted to stop being the Batman.
Well, but you got to remember, there was a time where he was about to turn himself in, but Harvey Dent took the thing. But this is okay. His thing was okay. He told Rachel we could be together, but Rachel was like, we can't be together if you're going to be the Batman, right? So he saw Harvey Dent as an opportunity to stop the Batman because he seen that Harvey Dent was able to lock up all these gangsters and like to do something that was in the movie. They said that's never been done, to be able to indict this many people all at the same time. Right. And he was talking to the mayor, and he was like, you're gonna have this huge thing over your head. He was like, are you sure you want to do this? And he was like, okay, the small time criminals, he was like, they're gonna stay locked up. He was like, but the big ones, he said, they're gonna get out, but they really ain't gonna have no foot soldiers. So he was like, you can have like 12 months of clean streets type things. So Batman looked at it like, well, Bruce Wayne looked at it like, okay, if he's able to lock up these many people, he said he's cleaning up the streets better than I'm cleaning up the streets. So he told Rachel, look, Harvey Dent is my way out. Harvey Dent is going to be the person that can stop me from being Batman because he locked up a whole lot more criminals than I'm able to do with the, you know what I'm saying, just going out at night and doing it the way that I'm doing it. But Rachel is dating Harvey Dent. So that has its own little conundrum there because it's like, so she's like, so you want me to stop doing what I'm doing with being with Harvey Dent to now all of a sudden after you play Playboy all these years, now you want to be faithful and be with me. And she's like, I got my own thing going on here. And then the Joker come in here with the fucking plan of, I'm going to put Harvey Dent on this side of town. I'm going to put Rachel on this side of town. You got to choose who you going to pick up. And he chose to get Harvey Dent because he's like, Rachel's not going to be with me now. But even though I don't think it was necessarily that, I think it was more of Harvey Dent could save Gotham. Well, he would rather save Gotham than to just be with Rachel, if that makes sense.
Well, I think the issue with all of that is that whole setup, right? But him choosing between Rachel or Harvey Dent. The stupidity in that is already crazy. Like, first and foremost, let's bring this into reality. If Bruce Wayne really wanted Rachel in real life, Rachel is leaving Harvey Dent. Let's talk about it. She's leaving Harvey Dent. You mean to tell me you're not going to marry the Playboy billionaire? The billionaire? Like, this motherfucker literally runs Gotham.
That he does, but also to be able to, he would do shit like when he brought that one girl, her and Dent was having dinner, and he comes in and was like, hey, put these two tables together. And Dent was like, I don't know if you can do that. He was like, yeah, I can. This is my place. So, but he's there with this girl. Now, even though he was using that girl as a ploy to sit there and try to get into Harvey Dent's mind to convince, because she put the card over his head and like, you can be the Batman type thing. So even though she was used as a tool, Rachel know this dude can get a girl every night. You know what I'm saying? And
but then, we know that he don't want a girl every night. He want Rachel.
Yeah.
I don't understand why, but he want Rachel.
Okay, we're not doing that, man. We're not doing that.
Listen, man. If y'all ain't listen, man, go listen to 28 Minutes or Less, man. We talked about Maggie Gyllenhaal, man, and she's just not it. She's just not it.
It sucks that that Katie Holmes didn't come back. Now I don't know what the issue was. I don't know if it was money wise. Maybe she was doing another movie at the time.
I'm sorry about that, man. I think she did good. I thought she did good in that first one.
Yeah, she did. And then like I hate when that happens when you're able to bring back all the characters and then one character don't come back. It really kind of throws everything off a little bit. But anyway, and then like he bought out that that was supposed to be a show. And he bought all the girls out to do like this. Well, he made it seem like it was like a love sweepstakes type of thing, but he just used that to go out to Hong Kong to bring old dude back to the States or whatnot. But it's just like little things like that. Now, little things like that, she might look at it like, I ain't got to worry about this type shit with Harvey. You know what I'm saying? And they built like a bunch, and they was in the same profession. So it was like they really kind of had more.
Man, fuck all that. He was a billionaire, bro. He was a billionaire. She had to worry about a goddamn thing.
I mean, look, maybe
motherfucker ran. He walked into the restaurant that this nigga was in and was like, "Hey, put these tables together. This is my shit. Come on, man. What? And you want to go with Harvey Dent? I mean, this motherfucker out here locking up criminals. You don't want to lock up criminals. You want to be living in the lap of luxury in this big ass mansion. Come on, man.
But same bitch he did, man. She just did it in an unlawful way.
Man, fuck all that. Nah. Rachel tripping. If Katie Holmes was Rachel, she'd have been with Bruce Wayne.
And okay, let me ask you this. Did you ever get into Gotham that was on Fox?
Yeah, I love that show. I don't like the fact that they did it from the detective's point of view, but yeah, that show was dope.
Okay, so Alfred is the younger version of Alfred was what would you call him? I mean, old school like British ops or some shit. I don't know. Alfred was that deal in that, but in the Dark Knight version, Alfred was just old as fuck. And I always wonder.
Well, you know, Alfred has always been an old Alfred. He's always been old, except for this show Gotham.
Yeah, that's because Bruce Wayne was a teenager, and it was they picked that one up when his parents died. So and then it was going from, like you said, the Detective Gordon version of. Well, he wasn't even a detective. Like he grew into a detective, and then he became commissioner in that one. And the Dark Knight, he's already the commissioner, and all that type stuff. But with Harvey Dent, though, to get back to Two-Face, with that decision being made, he basically went rogue because his whole thing was he knew somebody that Rachel knew she went with them voluntarily because she knew that, hey, these people will take care of me. So like his whole thing, his whole objective was, I need to figure out who picked up Rachel because I'm blaming them for Rachel being dead. And so he goes with his vengeance. And the thing is, he wasn't really Batman's villain. He was just became a villain in Gotham, and Batman had to basically take care of it. You see what I'm saying? Like he never had any intentions of going after Batman. It was, my thing is, I need to figure out who picked up Rachel, and I'm taking them out because.
Well, that's how it started. That's how it started.
Yeah.
It eventually ended up being just revenge on everybody. Because I think it was I don't think it was more so the whole losing Rachel part, more so than it was that he kind of gave up on that thought of hope, you know what I'm saying, for Gotham. Because remember, like, that was his whole thing, was changing Gotham into this place that people can be safe now. And after he had to go through that shit, it was like, all right, I'm busting my ass, I'm locking these motherfuckers up. And really, at the end of the day, they basically run this fucking town. So now that I've become a victim of it, I've survived this, and now I got this trauma. Like, okay, fuck it. To me, I looked at it like, if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah, and the speech that the Joker gave to him, it was like, at that time, like, I think that if Bruce Wayne went in there, he could have convinced him to do good. But because the joke, I only say that because he was in a vulnerable spot, and it was like that was exactly. I think that's what he. I think if Bruce Wayne would have went in there, he would have looked at it as some bullshit. But what the Joker was saying, he just really pushed him off that ledge. That's the ammunition that he needed to, I'm definitely taking out the revenge of Rachel's death.
Mm-hmm.
I think that scene, a lot of people don't really talk about it, but then to also get that coin and for one side to be burnt and one side to be fine, kind of like his face is one side good, one side burnt. By the way, the makeup person did a phenomenal job.
Well, that was CGI.
Oh, it was CGI? Dude,
yeah,
that shit was good. See, that's that technology.
They got some, you got to go online to find them, but they got like shots of him being in that scene. Like they, like got some stills of him or whatever being in that scene. And it's really just like patches out with like little small patches all around his face. So when they actually record him, his whole side of his face is blank except for his eyes and his mouth.
And that's what we was talking about when we were saying that technology in horror movies and all this stuff, it should be better, but like in some cases, it's not always as good. But yeah. I think that scene was oh man, like I can't think of the word that I'm looking for, but it was
intricate.
It was yeah. That's what it was. And then, for the Joker to come out, and then I heard that when he was walking out of the hospital, they said that was just one of those blooper type things, but it worked out for the film. So he's walking out, he hit the trigger, so the hospital starts to blow up, but it only blows halfway. And they said that this wasn't in the script, and they was like, he looked at it and like started hitting on the trigger, and then it started blowing up again. He like jumped. They said, "Oh, that shit was real." That was like that wasn't.
Yeah, but it looked great in the movie. They added that great in the movie.
Dude, that was awesome. That's just one of those things where you get the stories after a film come out, because like usually you would think, especially in something like that, like a movie like Dark Knight, like there's not a lot of ad-libbing. Like pretty much it's probably by the script. Like it might something might have slipped up and like, oh, that's kind of cool, let it go. It's not like a comedy movie. Like a lot of comedy movies, there's a lot of ad-libbing, but like it seemed like there's more to the script. And for something like that to happen, and that was funny. That was comedic. Like he wasn't even trying to. He was just like, I felt like this explosion was supposed to be bigger, and it just kind of hit on the trigger. That was really good, man. I like how they did that, man. But Commissioner Gordon, do you think Commissioner Gordon did the right thing and going along with what Batman said? Because Batman was like, we want Harvey to be looked at as a hero, and let me, like the whole term of you live long, like if you the hero, you live long enough, you become the villain. Yeah. Like you think Commissioner Gordon did the right thing?
So this is the interesting thing to me. Commissioner Gordon was always, especially throughout this movie, he always had this inside battle of making that decision. Even from like before that conversation even happened, like he always had that battle of, making that the actual decision. So when you go back to Batman Begins, you actually see him not fucking with the Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't fuck with the Batman in Batman Begins. So this is something to where he had to eventually grasp onto the concept of Batman being actually good for Gotham. You know what I'm saying? That was the first battle he had, and then now he has to face another battle of letting go of that concept that he just grasped onto. So I think that I don't think it was necessarily a good or bad decision. I think it was more so him coming to terms with, you know what I'm saying, him having to go through the shit that he had to go through in Batman Begins with trying to, you know what I'm saying, accept this Batman character for what it was, you know what I'm saying, accepting the vigilante that's out here helping him, compared to saying, okay, now that I finally accepted it, now I got to let it go because we got somebody who can actually do the fucking job now. So I don't think it was necessarily like a good or bad thing. Also in Batman Begins, you also got to remember that this whole situation, right, that he was going through in the Dark Knight, he was basically being prepared for in Batman Begins. He's constantly being tested by Ra's al Ghul, and what we think is him basically getting initiated into the League of Shadows, when the truth of the matter is that him fighting Ra's al Ghul is really just him getting over his fear of, you know what I'm saying, losing his parents, and, you know what I'm saying, his fear of, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the shit that he has to deal with. And, you know what I'm saying, him himself coming to terms with being the Batman. You know what I mean? And then so when you go to the Dark Knight, and then you know what I'm saying, you say that's him, I think, like kind of at the apex of, you know what I'm saying, him accepting that, okay, you know what I'm saying, I see what Gordon was saying at this point. Me out here, you know what I'm saying, like I think they kind of like flip-flop, like him seeing that the shit that he's doing, yeah, in a way it's helping, but it's really not helping. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's like, okay, Batman can go beat the motherfucker up, but then you got the rest of these motherfuckers that's looking at it like, this motherfucker is just a myth. He ain't even a real person. You know what I'm saying? We seen that in the first one. And then now you got it to where it's like, okay, we know Batman is real, but I mean, he can't whoop all of us. He's only one person. Compared to Harvey Dent, this motherfucker got a whole fucking police force that they can take everybody out. So I think, like how you were saying that he wanted to give it all up to give it Rachel, I think he more so just wanted to give it all up because he realized that the shit that Commissioner Gordon was saying was getting, you know, it was finally coming to his head, like, maybe I'm not built for this shit. Maybe this shit ain't worth it. And, you know what I'm saying? I think that was the battle. I don't think it was, like I said, I don't necessarily think it was like good or bad. I think a very interesting part in this whole trilogy is this is the first time we really see Bruce Wayne as a character. And in most of the Batmans, right, we don't really see him played out as Bruce Wayne. We usually just see him as Batman. In this trilogy, you actually get to see the duality of Batman and Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? Like you see Bruce Wayne a lot. Like you see Christian Bale actually playing the Bruce Wayne character to the point to where you see the many different facets of Bruce Wayne, and you also see him. And I think with this movie, like it was a lot of inside battles. Like it was a lot of internal battles. Like I think that the internal battle of being Batman was a constant theme throughout every movie, especially in the third one. But throughout every movie, you constantly seeing him like having that battle of, you know what I'm saying, is this shit really for me? Am I really made for this shit? Like, am I really built for this type shit? But you did get to see him actually be Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne, we got to see the personality of Bruce Wayne. We got to see the genius of Bruce Wayne. We get to see the complexity of Bruce Wayne. You know what I'm saying? We get to see him interacting with excuse me. We get to see him interacting with different people within the universe of Batman. We usually don't get a chance to see that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like on the old ones, I know every now and then they might show him at a party or whatever. Or like when what's old boy named Val Kilmer? When Val Kilmer played him, when he was like the Riddler or some shit like that. I mean, when he was fighting the Riddler and shit like that. Like we got to see a little bit of him, but we really didn't get a chance to see Batman. You know what I mean? Not Batman. Bruce Wayne. So
Bruce Wayne,
Yeah, in these we really get to see Bruce Wayne. We know what I'm saying? We really get to see who he is as a person. We get to see the billionaire. We get to see the shit that he has to deal with outside of the suit. And then we also, you know what I'm saying, we also get to see to deal with inside of the suit as well. Because remember in the first Batman, the Batman Begins, this is when he was just now getting started out. Remember, it was all just like an idea. It wasn't even a solid thing because the Scarecrow was out here committing crimes. And remember, they had motherfuckers dressing up like Batman to go fight these motherfuckers. And he was coming to save daylight too. So now, you know what I'm saying, coming into this whole where we at? Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
We ain't got the Dark Knight Rises yet. So in the Dark Knight, you see that all that shit is ended. Now everybody is seeing that the Batman shit is for real. You know what I mean? But the criminals don't give a fuck. Kind of see the people actually saying is here to save them, and you know what I'm saying, like shit a little bit lighter for them. But I think that it was very interesting to finally see Bruce Wayne and Batman in two separate, you know what I'm saying, two separate roles this time, because we actually got to see the Bruce Wayne character. We got to see him interacting, you know what I'm saying, like Gotham Industries or Enterprises or whatever that shit called. You know what I'm saying? We got to see him talk to Mr. Fox. You know what I'm saying? We got to see him interact with Rachel and have that love interest, you know what I'm saying, and actually have a storyline behind the love interest. We got to see him in the first Batman, in Batman Begins, we got to see him going back and forth with Ra's al Ghul. You know what I'm saying? We even got to see him, the beginning of the love interest with Rachel in that movie. So I think that was super dope.
And to think that, like, I think that he's smart, but I think that for him to have, Batman has to have like the smallest team. It's only Lucius Fox and Alfred. And I think that it's important to point out that both of them are old. Now, yeah. I don't know exactly what Lucius Fox is or what he do, but like for him to be able to come up with these different suits, for him to be able to come up with these, what do they call that damn thing? That thing that he drive and how that motorcycle is, how you use that.
The Batmobile?
Yeah, but they called it like the Jammer or something. And
no, they was talking about the function on the Batmobile. That's the vehicle is the Batmobile.
Gotcha. And like for even Lucius Fox, like I like how they put him in the mix, because even like you remember when my man left, and he took the money with him and he went back to Hong Kong, and so him and Lucius Fox went out to go get him, and like he came up with the plan. He was like, "How am I gonna get back?" And he came up with the plan of I think they called it like Skyhook or something. I'm not necessarily sure what they called it. And like he came up with that plan. He was like, "Look, this is something that they used to do back in the day." I think he said they did it back in World War II or something like that. And so they was able to come back by using that Skyhook thing when Batman got the dude. Dang, I wish I could remember my man's name. But when he went and got the dude and they did the Skyhook thing, like, and also the phone idea. Like it was Lucius Fox's idea to take the phone. Well, no. I think it was Bruce Wayne's idea to get that cell phone, leave that take your extra cell phone and leave the one cell phone there so they could turn all the power out and all of that type stuff, to be able to scoop up my man and bring him back to the United States. And I think that to have a team so small, because like the thing is, it has to be small because Batman is a secret. Like the only people that know who Batman is Lucius Fox, Alfred, and Rachel.
All right, there we go.
All right, you good?
My dang on Wi-Fi is messing up. I had to switch over to my phone.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hold on real quick. Are we still recording?
Yeah, it still say record.
Okay, cool.
All right. So I'll just say all that damn shit again. But what I was saying was, so Batman got a small team. And you know what I'm saying? It consists of really, two old people, and with Lucius Fox and with Alfred. And I think a lot of his good ideas come from, those two guys. And you remember when my man went back to Hong Kong with the money, and it was like, and Harvey Dent was telling him, we need him back here so we can, interrogate him. So Fox come up with the idea to use that one thing where we'll take a phone in there, basically leave the phone in the thing that'll turn off all the power and all this type stuff. So he was like, well, I'm gonna need a ride to get back. And he was like, well, I remember back in like World War I or World War II, there was a thing called Skyhook. And it was like you would shoot that what do you call it? A parachute thing in the air, and then the plane, it'll attach to the plane and then bring it back. Like that shit was Lucius Fox's idea. So I think that having somebody like him, somebody that's able to build his suits, to do all of technology-wise, to have the Batmobile and the motorcycle thing and the helicopter thing, which we'll get more into the helicopter thing when we're talking about The Dark Knight Rises. But to have those people, because like thing is, there's only 3 people who know who the Batman is.
Right.
And that's Alfred, Fox, and Rachel. They're the only 3 people who know who he is. So it's kind of hard to like have a team. And then that's another thing, like that shit has to get lonely. Like the 2 people that know who you are, damn near on their deathbed, there's only one other person who knows who you is. So it was like, that's how I can understand why he really kind of wanted to make it work with Rachel, because it was like, I can actually have a relationship with her because she knows my past, she knows who I am and all that type shit. But overall, I think that The Dark Knight was really like, it's really one of my favorite superhero movies. Like, it's hard for me to, because I think that when I look at like Endgame and Infinity War, like there's a lot of flash in it because there's a lot of characters in it.
Right.
So, but when it's zeroed in the way like this one is zeroed in, like it's more, this is more of a plot movie type of, platform. Like it's just different. And when you look at the transition going into The Dark Knight Rises, like Bane, like I did a top 5 villains on the 28 Minutes or Less a couple of months ago. Bane and Joker made my list. And
100%.
Like, dude, like Bane was that dude. Like, I know how much you love the Joker, but like, dude, Bane is like he's a close second, dude. Like
in the Batman universe, 100%. I think that the way that they did Bane was genius, because the only thing they got wrong with Bane was his voice. He's supposed to have like a South American, some type of South American accent. He's supposed to be like Latino or Latinx or whatever they call him now. But yeah, they did a great job. Tom Hardy did a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying, playing Bane. The thing that I liked that they did about Bane was they went back to who Bane really is. Bane is first and foremost, he's a super genius. He's a criminal super genius. Like he can create like this. If you ever read the comics, and never paid attention to Bane. Like, the shit that Bane does is, like, out of this fucking world. So he's really a genius at, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, he's not a dumb guy whatsoever. So for them to take him and then, like, not really make him like the goofy Bane that they had in the one, you know, so like the one Batman's when they had like Poison Ivy and all them in it, like they didn't have to go that far. Like, you know what I'm saying? The mask was what gave him the ultra strength and everything else. But they made him basically like on the same plane as Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, Bane was also in the League of Shadows. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, he don't know how to fight. You know what I mean? Like, and then you bring the, you know what I'm saying, you bring the element of the story into it where we think that, you know what I'm saying, the whole time they telling this story and the whole time they going through all these flashbacks and everything, we think that they talking about Bane when we find out in the end that they not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that was genius. I think that it was always some kind of mystery surrounding the way that they did Bane as well with that. And then, you know what I'm saying, the fighting in it. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying, he wasn't like no super villain. Like, he was a super villain, but he was able to, you know what I'm saying, just go toe to toe with Batman as far as fighting, as far as, you know what I'm saying, he took over Gotham. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that even Joker couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
he literally had Batman on his toes. Like, we almost lost Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the best thing about it, this is why Dark Knight Rises is actually my favorite out of the three, is because they used the Nightfall storyline. You know what I'm saying? This is the storyline of where, you know what I'm saying, Bane breaks the Bat. You know what I'm saying? This is the first time we actually see Batman be vulnerable as Batman. You know what I'm saying?
Batman was defeated.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I spoke about how we seen Bruce Wayne getting that concept of where we finally see him have personality. We finally see him as a character, but we see him, you know what I'm saying? We see Bruce Wayne vulnerable a lot. You know what I'm saying? If you watch these movies, you really see Bruce Wayne very, very vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Even when he has his interactions with Alfred, or he has his interactions with Lucius Fox or Rachel or whatever, or even with Harvey Dent sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a vulnerability to Bruce Wayne. When you see Batman, you don't see that. You see Batman as this character who's, you know what I'm saying, who's hard, you know what I'm saying, who's basically etched in revenge. You know what I'm saying? He's created out of this, out of this fear to where he's overcoming all these obstacles. So finally, when we get to see him and Bane fight, you realize that, oh, this motherfucker can really be, you know what I'm saying, defeated. This motherfucker can really be beaten. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody who, you know what I'm saying, follows DC Comics, we all know Batman to be like the greatest detective in the world. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker is unbeatable, even though he's just human. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has all this money to create all these things, but he's smart enough to create all these things to where people can't stop him. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the only humans to defeat Superman. You know what I'm saying? Even Lex Luthor couldn't do that. So when you see him fighting Bane, who in the movie, Bane is just as human as Batman is, but he's beating the shit out of Batman, then it's like, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? We finally see the vulnerability of him, because now, you know what I'm saying, we seeing him crawl around. We seeing him trying to, you know what I'm saying, fight for his life, and we don't usually get a chance to see Batman in that position.
And I think that also goes back to, now this is not making an excuse, because Bane put down the biggest ass whooping you probably ever seen on screen. But you got to remember when the movie started, it was Selena in this party. She was, you know, acting to be like a maid or whatever. Yep. And she was going in there to steal something from Bruce Wayne. And remember, Bruce Wayne was on a cane. His leg was fucked up. And
that was so.
Was it really act? Because you got to remember, they made this. Okay, check this out. This is why I think it was.
Because I remember the brace.
Yeah, the brace, and like when he went to the hospital, that was an act, because he wanted to go to the hospital so he could see Detective Gordon. But they had to put that thing on his knee because his knee was actually messed up.
Was it the reason I say it was an act, right? I don't mean like a physical act. Like, I think when I say act, what I'm trying to say is that when you look at the progression of these movies, right, you see Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and then Dark Knight Rises. Batman Begins is the inception of Batman. Dark Knight is the Batman in his prime. And then we see Dark Knight Rises as old Batman, like Batman getting out of, you know what I'm saying, that greatness. We're starting to see like Batman kind of crumble into or becoming like the old Bruce Wayne. Kind of like how the guy Ben Affleck is playing.
Yeah, like that's my whole point. Like, and he probably wasn't working out as much as he usually do because he couldn't be Batman because Batman was a fugitive that was looking for him. Mm-hmm. So he had to stop being Batman. So I think that it was just a situation where he wasn't working out, he wasn't doing anything. Then Selena come in there, she goes and take that thing because she wants that what they call it, not new life. They call it the open what they called it. A clean slate. She wanted a clean slate. Yeah. So that's why she was stealing that thing from Bruce Wayne or whatever. And so he becomes enamored with her. And so then he pops back up when what was they doing? Why did he pop back up?
That's when Bane came.
That's when Bane came in the stock exchange. He went to the stock exchange, and so they did. And that's the thing. Bane, you said it perfect. Like he's a criminal mastermind because everything was calculated out to where he knew how to get the Batman to show up. Now, see him and Miranda. See, Miranda was really the other villain, but she didn't have any superpowers or anything like that. Like Miranda was just super tight with Bane because Bane.
Do you know who she really is?
What do you mean? She's
that's Ra's al Ghul's
daughter. Yeah. And my thing is, why was she on Bane's side when Bane actually killed Ra's al Ghul?
You can't kill Ra's al Ghul.
Well, yeah. So this is what you come back.
Yeah. So this is what you have to understand. So, Ra's al Ghul, right? And this is the thing. Like, this is why I say that this trilogy is literally the best Batman movies to ever come out, because you have to understand and you have to know a little bit about the comics and the actual story of Batman to even be able to understand what some of the shit that was in the movie that was going on. So what happens is Bane never kills Ra's al Ghul. He defeats Ra's al Ghul. And her mother is locked up in the prison. He puts her mother in the prison because he's basically, when she's born in the prison, what ends up happening is he's putting her into a test, right? So if you know anything about the comics, she eventually becomes the leader of the League of Shadows. So that's who she was in that movie. She was at the point where she was the leader of the League of Shadows. Mm-hmm. So that's why she switched her name to like Miranda Tate and all this other shit. So Bane was the one who helped her escape out of that prison. He was basically her protector in that prison. That's why she showed so much love for Bane, because he was basically raising her. Because, her mom ends up dying in the prison or whatever, giving birth to her. But Bane is the one that keeps her safe, teaches her how to do little shit. He teaches her how to defend herself, shit like that. And then he helps her to escape out of the prison.
Yeah. And like doing that stock exchange thing, like, because the whole thing with this movie was like doing that stock exchange thing pretty much really bankrupt Bruce Wayne. Mm-hmm. And so Bruce Wayne ended up losing. That's another vulnerability that we had. Now, it was two things. He loses Alfred because Alfred basically tells him, because he burnt the letter that Rachel left him saying that she was going to stay with Harvey Dent. Yep. He seen how broke up he was in The Dark Knight about her dying. So he was just like, oh, well, I'll burn this letter. I'll let you think that she was going to choose you. Mm-hmm. So Alfred actually tells him, like, no, like, she said that she was going to choose Harvey Dent. He took personal and basically fired him. So he leaves. He's broke. He's getting his car repossessed and all of this type shit. And it's all because of the shit that Bane did. And then Bane and Miranda had this whole plan of using the one dude because the one dude was on the board at Wayne Enterprises. And then he meets with Miranda. He gets tight with Miranda. And this is crazy how quick. I guess he's seen how smart she was and how great of a business person she was. So he pretty much gave her his spot so she could turn Wayne Enterprises around. And he shows her that not nuclear, but that thing was nuclear.
Yeah.
But what the fuck they call that thing? That core thing. So he shows her that and like basically put her in charge of doing that. And that was really the worst idea. But Miranda and Bane was so smart together that they really outsmarted him. But they didn't account that him and Selena was going to end up getting tight. Selena being the Catwoman. Did you hear? I don't know if you heard about this or not, but I remember there was some stuff that was out right before this movie came out. Oh no, I think it was during the time when the movie came out.
Mm-hmm.
Some people was upset with Anne Hathaway being Selena because they said that they felt that she wasn't sexy enough to play Catwoman. Did you hear any of that stuff?
Yeah. My thing is, so the whole sexy thing, that kind of, Michelle Pfeiffer kind of put that, you know what I'm saying? She kind of did that whole thing. Like that is, I think she's probably the best Catwoman between her and Eartha Kitt. But Michelle Pfeiffer might be number one because of the way she played that.
Yeah, she did a really good job. That's what I'm saying. Like, I would go these two Dark Knight ones, and then I would go to that one with Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. And
I would probably say Michelle Pfeiffer, Eartha Kitt, then Anne Hathaway.
Okay, and then so you're not even putting the
Halle Berry? Hell no.
Halle Berry one in there.
No, that shit was trash.
But yeah,
I mean, she was sexy. Don't get me wrong, she was sexy as Catwoman.
Yeah.
That shit was horrible.
But yeah, and I like Anne Hathaway doing it, and I like the little back and forth relationship that they had. Like this little shit, like my mom told me not to get in the car with strangers, and he was like, "This ain't a car." And then started flying. Like that shit was hard. But like, and for them to, because she was trying to go rogue and do all this shit on her own, and he's like pop up and like help her, and then he went to her for help. And then that's when Bane had got to her first. And so Bane almost figured it out. That's what I'm saying. Like, that just shows how smart they was, because I don't think they accounted for Catwoman, but then like they kind of like figured it out. And then he got to her first, and then she led him to Bane. And then so Bane beats his ass, literally breaks his back, and then shows him, this is why we've been in these tunnels. And then he blows it, and it's right at Wayne Enterprises where all of the Batman stuff is, like all of the Batmobiles and all of this type shit. And it's like, yo, like this dude is like beyond, like you get that sense of hopelessness. It's like there's no way he's coming back from this.
Right.
Like they try to do it in these like superhero films, but this is really the first time when you was like, yo, he really may not defeat this dude.
Well, see, that's, once again, man, I think that's the genius of Christopher Nolan, man. Like, to be able to not only, you know what I'm saying, intermingle the storylines of these comic books as well as he did, but also just create the stories that he did in each movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made these characters as, I don't want to say realistic, because you can't really say realistic, but he made them as believable, you know what I'm saying, as he possibly could. You know what I'm saying? To see Bane in that manner, like after seeing Bane in cartoons and the horrible ass Batman movies that we've seen him in, like to see him in that aspect as the character he was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was supposed to be a highly intelligent criminal. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the Joker. They made Joker a highly intelligent criminal. Like, Joker wasn't dumb at all. Like, if you watched him in that movie, like, you seen the genius behind what he was doing. Even though he was doing criminal shit, you still kind of seen, you know what I'm saying, the cogs moving in his brain about, oh, this is how you fuck this up. This is how you fuck this up. Oh, okay, now I know how to get at the Batman. So when you see Bane doing that same thing, but at a totally different level, and then not only that, like, having the ability to really fight back with Batman, because I think that's the thing that we miss with the Joker. Like, we don't never get to see the Joker really fight Batman. So when now that he has an adversary, not only mentally, because I think that's what the Joker is for him. Joker is a mental battle, a battle of wits. But when we get to see a villain who has a battle of wits with him and also has that physical battle where he can fight, you know what I'm saying, physically with him, then you kind of look at it like, oh shit, like this might be, they might be ending Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, this might be the last, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then like even the thing that they did with the doctor guy, because it was so well planned out, dude. Because actually I got it wrong. It was really that was the second scene when she went to the party. The actual first scene was when they was on this plane, and then Bane and his guys took over the plane.
Yeah,
and and then just to do something like, who thinks of this shit? Like, he put an IV into the doctor, takes some of his blood out, put it into this dead body, and then takes the doctor, kidnaps the doctor, plane goes down, and then they were able to say that their doctor was in that plane crash.
Yep. And
then after they blow the field up, they bring the doctor out there, and they're able to see, identify that that's the doctor, and then he shoots him because Bruce Wayne put Miranda in charge of that nuclear thing. So she has charge of that, and the only person that was capable of shutting that thing down after you take it off of that core thing was that doctor, and then he kills that doctor in front of everybody. And it's he's not coming back from this. And then they kept showing the stories of the little kid that exit out of that prison or whatnot.
Yeah.
And so you see all these people trying to make the jump, and we see, and Bane was telling him this, like it was two things that Bane told him during that fight. Like, he tried to shut the lights off, and he was like, dude, I was born and raised in the darkness. And he was like, you think darkness is your ally? He was like, nah. And then he also,
that's the metaphor that he was using to let him know that he was also trained by Ra's al Ghul.
Okay. I didn't know that. Great fact from you. And what else did he tell him? It was that, and it was also
he told him the story about he was telling him the story about Miranda, right?
No. It was he was
no,
like,
that's at the end.
No, he was like, yeah. He was like, I know you don't fear death. Basically. So when Bruce Wayne finally got his back up right, and like, Bane, the whole thing, I want you to see Gotham fall. It's like, my whole thing is for you to die in this thing, but I want Gotham to completely fall. So
he knew who Batman was too.
Yeah, he knew he was. That's what I'm saying. This dude is a fucking genius, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not really talked about like how smart him and Miranda was. And so then once he's finally able to make the jump, he had to make the jump without the rope. And like, once he was able to do that, and then he gets back, and we haven't even mentioned Blake at all. So Blake is like, towards the end of the film, we figure out who Blake actually is. But like, so Blake is basically, he becomes
Robin,
Detective Gordon's second-hand man during all of this chaos, because Detective Gordon really don't have anybody, because Bane sold him out.
No, he's not. Okay, so he's becoming Robin.
Yeah, he's becoming Robin, but But this is the thing, though. This is what I'm saying. Before we even found out that he was Robin, he was a corner guy. He was in the suit. Well, not the suit, but he was in the Batman. Damn. He was in the officer uniform. Okay. So he makes a name for himself by impressing Detective Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, and he's like, he moves him to detective. So then when all of the stock exchange stuff happens, Bane takes over. And so Gordon, they had to move Gordon out of the hospital, and the only person that knew where he was is because Foley and Blake was going at it, because Blake was Foley was so caught up in, I want to be the one to arrest Batman. And Blake was a fan of Batman, and he was like, you were obsessed with arresting him and all this type of stuff, and he had came up with his plan in front of Commissioner Gordon when he was in the hospital, and that's when he made him detective. Yeah. So he's sitting here mapping out all of this stuff because he remembered one situation where this dude was in this truck and he was blocking the way. He was like, well, just leave it here, stay out of the way type thing. Then probably 20 more minutes in the film, he sees that same guy that was blocking him when they was trying to do something else. And he was like, yo, y'all are doing something. So he's able to, shoot the tank, and the bullet bounced off the tank and hit the dude. And then he's able to look and was like, yo, they're using explosives. They're not fixing the road, they're actually planting explosives. So Blake becomes very monumental in getting with Bruce Wayne and Selina. And this is the thing, when Bruce Wayne got back, the very first person he met with was Selina. Yeah. Even though Selina turned him in, but he knew she had no choice because he knew Bane got to her first. So he was like, okay, I understand what you were doing, but can I trust you? So she was able to get him in. Well, Fox and Miranda, we thought Miranda was fucking held captive, but so at the time he gets in, talks to them, and so he was like, look, I need my suit, all of this type shit. So he comes back, and him and Blake, Batman and Blake, because Blake don't know that it's Bruce Wayne at the time. So he is helping, and Selina's helping, and his whole thing is I'm gonna need you, Selina, to help me. And she was like, look, when I blow this hole open, I'm out of here. So she has a change of heart, and she comes back and helps him and all of this type shit. But the only thing that disappoints me about now, maybe we don't know, or maybe Tenet came up and he just really wanted to do Tenet or whatever. I don't know what's taking them so long to do the Robin version, because the way that the movie ended,
it was supposed to be Robin was taking over.
Yeah, and I think that personally, the way that I would have done it was, I would let Robin basically have his shine. This is Robin. There's no Batman in this one. We're gonna let Robin have his battles. I don't know the comic books like you do. Maybe
if they do that, they can't do Robin without Batman. There is no Robin without Batman. So if they do that, they'll have to make him Nightwing, and then they'll have to do flashbacks of him being Robin.
So basically, it would have to be. This is the thing. I've seen small reports about it. Christian Bale was basically saying that he was just basically done with doing the Batman or whatever, whatnot. Yeah. So maybe that could be a little something that kind of messed it up, because it seems like that their chemistry would have been better if for them to do that next Dark Knight or whatever, and he basically have his sidekick. But the way that they ended it with having Alfred told him at the time, I had a vision that I was basically drinking coffee at this place, and I seen you, with a woman, and you were settling down, and you wasn't the Batman no more, and all that type of shit. So I think that they really took that initiative of him and Selena actually getting their life together, and like he basically is done being the Batman. But the thing is, they show him being done being the Batman and him and Selena forming a relationship, and then they go to Blake, which went to pick up the wheel thing, and
discovering the Batcave.
Well, actually, well, skip a little bit because he was like, "Oh, well, maybe you can't find it because I didn't use. They probably used my real name, and my name is Robin." And then, and then she was like, "Oh, so that is Robin. So that's a great name. Why you never go by that name?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." And
well, see, that's the thing. This is why I kind of figured they weren't gonna do it, was because the thing about Robin is a kid. Robin is never the only time we ever see Robin, of course, is in the movie where Chris O'Donnell played him. But Robin is not an adult ever in the comics. He's always a kid. When he becomes an adult, he becomes Nightwing. So every Robin that they have is usually a fucking kid. And so what I thought they were going to do, because they brought in Miranda Tate, or Talia al Ghul, which is her actual name, I thought that they were going to create the relationship between her and Batman, because, you know, they have a son together who ends up becoming Batman. I mean, becomes one of the Robins.
Okay.
So that's what I thought they were going to do. And then also there's a storyline where one of the Robins, I forgot what his name is. I can't look it. Hold on, let me look it up real quick. So one of the Robins basically ends up becoming this character called the Red Hood, and it's a part of what is this shit called? Hold on, The Killing Joke, which is a part of Joker. That's why I thought that they were gonna initiate like some flashback with Joker or something to end up making him become like the Red Hood somehow, some way. So I don't know exactly how, you know what I'm saying, they initially wanted it to be, but from the looks of it, it seemed as if they were doing it like this is like a wrap up. To me, that's how I looked at it. Like, I looked at it all like it was all a wrap up. So we knew that, you know what I'm saying, the Blake character was eventually going to be Robin, which was the reason why they named him Robin, because none of the Robins are named Robin. It's Jason Todd, it's Tim Drake, it's Dick Grayson, and then it's I forgot. I think his name is Dante Wayne. No, Damian. What is it? Damian or Dante? It's one. It's Damian or Dante Wayne. I forgot what his son's name is. But those are the four Robins. Jason Todd is the one who ends up becoming the Red Hood. Tim Drake is he's the one that becomes I think he's the second Robin, and he's the one that becomes Robin and then eventually takes over for, I want to say it's the Teen Titans. He becomes the leader of the Teen Titans as Robin, but Dick Grayson ends up becoming Nightwing. So that's what I initially thought they were gonna do, was gonna actually let his name be Dick Grayson instead of Blake. So when they said Robin, that's when I was like, oh yeah, it ain't no way it was gonna be a Robin movie, because none of these dudes are named Rob. There's no Robin named Robin.
Gotcha. Well, you got this shit down to science. See,
oh man, listen. Man, I've been I'm not like super into comic books, but like my uncle is a huge comic book fan. My little cousins, like, they huge comic book fans. I've seen every Batman movie, even the old Batmans. Like I said, all my favorite characters are villains, like Magneto, Joker, Bane. The Hulk is an anti-hero, but it's certain ones where he's a villain. You know what I'm saying? Like, all my favorite characters are usually, or you see it. Hold on, y'all see it, man. I got the comic book cover. You know what I'm saying? With all the villains on there. So that I've always been into villains. Like that's always been my thing. Usually anytime it's a good villain, it's always going, especially in a movie. If it's a good villain, it's gonna be a good movie. That's why I said with Batman Begins, that shit's so boring because they got Scarecrow as the villain. But unless you into the comic books, you know what I'm saying, you really don't know shit about Ra's al Ghul. But if you into it, Ra's al Ghul really makes it a good movie. Excuse me. But he makes it a good movie. And that's why to me Dark Knight Rises is such a great movie, and that's why it's one of my favorite, because it really ties the whole trilogy up. It brings in his daughter Talia, it brings in Bane, it adds the Nightfall storyline. You know what I'm saying? They hint at Robin. It add Catwoman in there, who I think she should have been in there a little bit earlier, but you know what I'm saying, that's cool too. But it adds her in there, and it adds their dynamic in there, because, you know, Batman and Catwoman got this, like, love-hate dynamic, like, kind of on again, off again relationship type thing. So, I mean, it's like, it's one of those things to where it adds every element of the Batman universe into these movies.
And it put a twist in this one. Like, I don't remember it really being a twist. Well, actually, it was a twist because with Two-Face coming about. So that was basically the twist in that one. And the twist in this one was when we found out the little kid that made the jump was actually Miranda instead of Bane. And that's when Batman was shot. No, he wasn't shot. He was stabbed. Miranda had stabbed him. And then that's when she told him who she was. And then that's when Catwoman came back and hit Bane with the motorcycle thing or whatever. And so that was a twist. It was a twist that was later in the movie. Like, usually twists aren't that late in a movie. It's usually more in the middle. But that one came late, and then also they went back to the autopilot thing because he was talking to Lucius Fox about the helicopter thing, and he was like, he was like, I couldn't get the autopilot thing fixed. And he was like, man, that's what you're here for. And so they was talking. When he was when they come up with the plan of taking the bomb and sending it out, you know, towards the river or whatever, he was like, no autopilot. And it was like, damn, you know, so Batman like dies. And so then when we saw him, and then it was like Lucius had went when everybody thought Batman was dead, Lucius had went back and he seen that the autopilot was fixed, and it had Bruce Wayne's name typed in it. And he was like, oh, okay, so that's when he knew that he was still alive, but he wanted everybody to think that he was dead because he wanted to be done with being Batman.
Right. And that once again, that goes back to that internal struggle of him, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be Bruce Wayne, wanting to be Batman, you know what I'm saying, wanting to, am I built for this? Am I not built for, you know what I'm saying? Like, just that internal struggle of him trying to decide whether or not, you know what I'm saying, this is what he wants to do. For me, man, I think the brilliance of these movies is each character has a story that's not necessarily like, there's no deep dive for their, you know what I'm saying, like for every character's background, but in a way you kind of, you know what I'm saying, you kind of learn to love each character in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people fell in love with the Joker, you know what I'm saying? People even fell in love with Two-Face because they kind of felt sorry for what he went through. You know what I'm saying? People fell in love with Bane because same thing, you know what I'm saying, at the end, you know, you kind of found out like, damn, the whole time, you know what I'm saying, he basically helped Miranda get out of that situation. I don't know if they really fell in love with Miranda, but you know what I'm saying, like each character just they all kind of had their own, you know what I'm saying, story without actually having to tell the story. And I thought that was very, very genius of Christopher Nolan to be able to make that happen in these three movies.
Yeah, man, them two brothers, man, like they really are like the modern day Spielberg, the modern day Ron Howard, you know, like those type of guys. Like, and I think they're taking over like the they do more films that are more close to like Jerry Bruckheimer and they're more there, and it's like all of those guys are getting older. You know what I'm saying? They aren't in tune as like people like Christopher Nolan and his brother. I forget what his brother name is, but the Nolan brothers. And like they got a good thing going, man. And like we have talked about them countless times. Like we'll probably, depending on, I haven't seen. Have you seen Tenet yet?
No, I'm waiting for it to come out on DVD because I'm not going to the movies anytime soon. So I'm gonna wait for it to come out on DVD and video on demand. Yeah, but I want to see it because not only just Christopher Nolan, but John David Washington. He's been in some great roles, and he's been doing his thing. So I want to see how he does in this.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that one. So how are we doing it? Like, are we even doing Fire Flames this episode?
Man, you just took the words out of my mouth, man. Okay, so I feel like we should just rate the trilogy and not each movie, because if we do each movie, I mean it's obvious, you know what I'm saying, which one we gonna pick. So we know, you know what I'm saying, we know that, you know what I'm saying, you super into the Dark Knight, but you said that you're into Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises as well. So for me, like I said, Dark Knight Rises is my favorite. And I appreciate Batman Begins for what it is, because it's, to me, I think it's more so just like it's the foundation for the whole trilogy. Without Batman, like, as boring as it is, without Batman Begins, the rest of the shit don't make sense at all.
Especially Rise is really what makes sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even in Dark Knight, like you don't get that you don't get that struggle of Batman and Joker without him, you know what I'm saying, dealing with Ra's al Ghul and being in the League of Shadows, and then, you know what I'm saying, having to deal with Scarecrow and all this other shit. Like, everything is a build up into the next one. You know what I'm saying? So for me, man, this is definitely one of the best trilogies to ever hit the screens. To me, I dare say, nah, I can't do that. It's the second best Batman series. For me, at least. I'm sorry, man. Michael Keaton's Batman's was just something about the way Tim Burton did them joints, man. It stick with me. Like I said, Jack Nicholson is my favorite Joker. But I'm definitely giving it a 5 out of 5, without a doubt.
Okay. I like the Tim Burton version as well. Like I said, that those ones with Michael Keaton, I would that would be my second. The Dark Knight one would be my first. Everything that you said, like, I 100% agree with. The only thing is, if we're doing it in the trilogy wise, I would have to go. As boring as it was, like, it's still a testament of something being boring. So I have to knock it. Now the other two, they completely Fire Flames, but with throwing in not the Dark Knight, but Batman Begins, I'm gonna have to knock it down to a 4.5, simply because of that one. Like, yeah, you need it to make it make sense, but at the same time, I sat down for that almost 2 hours and like, yo, like, this shit.
For a fact.
Like, I get it, like, it's necessary, it's needed, but it's like, yo, it's like, man, I gotta knock it down just a little bit, man. So I'm gonna push it down to a 4.5.
Oh,
and that's only, yeah, man, yeah. I gotta knock it down a little bit, man. I gotta knock it down a little bit. But the other two, they completely they Fire Flames. Like, I love both of those movies.
Yeah.
And like, it's hard for me. That's kind of like, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like number 1 and 1A. Like, I can't separate them. Like, I love both of them, man. I really do. I love both of them.
I mean, I ain't mad at you, man. You know, Just I totally understand the Batman Begins thing. Like I said, man, if you really not into it, like if you really don't know much about it, like as far as like the comics and the background and the storylines and shit, like it makes it difficult to, you know what I'm saying, to stomach through that movie. Because it's like I felt like what they did with that movie was more so storyline than it was like the action and the, you know what I'm saying, and everything else. I think that was, like I said, to me, that's that foundation that they laid down. Like they got all of that shit out the way. So they was like, all right, these next two movies, we bringing all the fun shit. This one, you're gonna have to sit through this one to kind of understand. But I think that without Batman Begins, like this trilogy it ends up trash. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely needed. It's literally the blueprint, the frame of this whole thing. But real quick, man, shout out to Cesar Romero, the Joker from the 1960s Batman TV series and the 1960s Batman movie. He played Joker, and that's my third favorite Joker. You know what I'm saying? My grandma got me hip to it a long time ago when they used to play the 1960s Batman with Adam West on, you know what I'm saying, television. And that's when I got hip to the Joker before the animated TV show that they did. But before that, that's the Joker that I knew. So, yeah, shout out to Mark Hamill, too. Mark Hamill voiced the Joker on the animated series. So, those are my guys. I don't have a fifth Joker.
Okay, now see, look, not like you told me the other day that I am a Halloween connoisseur. You are a Batman connoisseur, dude. Like,
No. It's not Batman. It's not Batman. I'm really. It's more so just the comics and the, you know what I'm saying, the sci-fi shit. Like I love science fiction. I love comic books. I love, you know what I'm saying, like cartoons and shit like that. Like it's just for me that those are the things that intrigue me because there's so much that you could do. There's so much creativity you can put into it. Like Star Wars is my shit.
Oh yeah, I know that, man. You jumped on me, man, before we started Viewers Anonymous. Man, I couldn't be a movie and I ain't watch Star Wars. I gave it a try, man. I did the Rogue One, and it was just like, I mean, it was good, but it was like,
See, did you watch any of the original Star Wars movies?
No, I went straight to Rogue One.
That's why you couldn't. That's why you ain't like Rogue One, man. You gotta listen. So this is what you do. You can do it the original way, or you can do it in chronological order. So you can go from 4, 5, and 6, and then watch 1, 2, and 3, and then, you know what I'm saying, you can watch 7 and 8, and then you can watch Rogue One, or you can watch 7, Rogue One, and then 8, or you can do what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. And then if you want to, you can watch Han Solo's movie too.
See, you own that shit. Yo.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, my uncle got me into Star Wars when I was a kid, bro, and I've been a Darth Vader head ever since.
Look, my people got me into horror movies as a kid. So.
Yeah, and see, that's my mom, man. She used to be on that shit. Like she loved that's. It seems like everybody that I'm connected to loves horror movies. And it's like, it's cool, but it's like, it's certain shit, man, I just can't get into. Like, motherfucker running in the woods, they trip and fall, and they turn around and scream. Like, no, get the fuck up and run, man. It's just, the scenarios just piss me off, man.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing that I'm definitely sick of. Like, I remember I had went back and listened to the Halloween episode I did on the 28 Minutes or Less, and I brought it up I said they still doing the cheesy thing of, you know, a person falling and tripping and falling over nothing. It's like, dude, that's been done. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done with the shower scene. It's like, yo, let's do something else. Like, I get it. That's an opportunity to show some titties, but.
Oh, 100%. They got to keep the boobs in there, bro. Boobs are essential in horror movies. If there's no boobs in horror movies, I don't want to see it.
Essential worker.
Facts. That's a fact, man. You gotta have a pair of boobs in there, bro. Like what would a horror movie be if it didn't get you excited and then ruin the rest of the movie by killing her off? You know what I'm saying? You think you about to see her boobs again? No, she dead now. She died because we seen her boobs. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, man. The funny shit is, though, I was laughing because Geico has a commercial where it's like 4 teens or whatever, and they running, and then they see the car. And they go, oh, girl go, let's get in the car. And he's like, what? No, let's go hide behind the chainsaws. Like, that's the perfect commercial. That's exactly what happens in fucking scary movies. They see a car. No, don't get in the car. We can just drive off and end the movie. No, let's go hide behind the chainsaws with the killer. Oh my God.
And then when the commercial was going off and they took off running, she says, let's run to the cemetery.
Yeah. But no, the funniest part about that commercial is when they hiding behind the chainsaws and the killer is right behind them, and he take his mask off and he look and he roll his eyes like, are you guys fucking serious? Like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all want to die.
Oh man, that shit was funny. That is like the greatest Geico commercial, though.
Yes, that is the funniest Geico commercial. But every time I see that commercial, bro, I fucking laugh, man, because it's just like, that explains the blueprint of every fucking great horror movie right there. That scene, that little moment is the best scene in every fucking horror movie, because it's like, dude, you can literally get the fuck out of here. But no, you want to go hide away, and the next thing you know, the killer right behind you rolling his eyes like, I guess I got to kill these motherfuckers. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Geico for that. That was genius. So,
that was
Man, it's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and plug yourself, man. Let the folks know, you know what I'm saying, where they can keep up with your stuff, man. Keep, updated.
Definitely, man. I'm definitely gonna shout out my 28 minutes or less first, man. I'm trying to build that one up because I took that off of the Stolen Time podcast page, so it has its own page now. So go check out the 28 minutes or less. Me and you just did an episode. It was just put up last night. Man, we did the top 10 horror movies of all time. I'm doing a October Horror Fest with the 28 minutes or less. So go check that out. Also, everything is on the Stolen Time Pod page on Instagram and s.foster8 on Instagram as well. Also, the Stolen Time podcast page. That Stolen is STOL''N. All the episodes will be posted there. It's on all major platforms. Please go check that out, man, because I'm trying to make that it's just as consistent as we trying to do this Viewers Anonymous. So go check that out as well.
Yeah, man, most definitely, bro. For me, man, you can go check me out at the Already Home podcast. It's looking like we have one this week, so you know what I'm saying, you guys stay tuned. Definitely check me out on 15 Minutes of Fame. Excuse me. Go check out my last episode with my guy Cheese Navy, man, up and coming rapper out of Miami, Florida. What else, man? I got a new sports radio show that I'm gonna start up. Starting next week, Thursday through Saturday. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give it a quick run and see how it goes. Isolated Society. I did a great test run with the guys. S-Dot was on there. You can go check it out on my YouTube. S-Dot was on there, man. We had a great conversation about the NBA, COVID, football, you know what I'm saying, how everything is going in sports culture. And, you know what I'm saying, we talked some trash at the end. We had a whole bunch of laughs. I think that was a very, very great topic. But, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do like a sports radio show. So you guys will be able to call in. You can get in the chat room. I have a chat room that you guys could talk to each other in, talk to me in. So, you know what I'm saying, just make sure you follow me on Twitter. All the information will be on Twitter starting Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll be putting out all that information so you guys can start subscribing and start following that. And, yeah, man, follow me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. Follow me on Instagram at Scoots Bronson _TV. And follow me on YouTube at Scoots Bronson TV.
That's what's up, boy. We got a lot of plugs, man.
I know, right, man? That's what happened. You know what I'm saying? We working, man. That's what happened when you trying to create greatness, man.
Yes, sir, man. Content.
Yes, sir. Especially right now, you know what I'm saying, with this whole quarantine thing, you know what I'm saying? Some people, you know what I'm saying, walking around freely, some people not. So, you know, I think it's a good time to get this out, you know what I mean? Give people something to look forward to, get through the day. So,
Yes, sir.
that's
I hope
always
everybody
helpful.
enjoyed this, man. I hope they enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, me too. I definitely want to say that. If you really want some enjoyment, man, please go listen to that 28 minutes or less. That top 10 list, I'm not going to lie to you. I've never done a top 10 list of horror movies, but when I was really putting it together and like really thinking about the movies that like scared the shit out of me throughout my life, like, yeah, you'll be surprised at what my top movies are though. I think my top 3 was the funny. I know number 2 was the funniest shit ever. The story was, man, listen. Oh my goodness. To that day, man, to this day, I don't fuck with that movie, man.
That's funny, dude. That is so funny.
One or two.
And it was so many coincidences, man, because like I mentioned it earlier in the podcast. You didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing. You just waited.
I had to keep that one. Yeah, I had to keep that one under wraps because that was too good. So y'all go, you know what I'm saying? Go check, man. Go support my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? He putting in that work, man. And it's always good to have somebody around you that got that same ambition and passion as you. And thank you guys for listening. Make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube. What else, man? Make sure you subscribe to all our podcasts. Make sure you follow us on social media. Share with a friend. Let somebody know, you know what I'm saying? Don't hog it out for yourself. You always want to be able to talk about it with somebody. So let it, you know what I'm saying? Let somebody else know, man, so y'all can giggle in private while everybody else wondering what the hell y'all talking about. Yeah, man. As they say in Hollywood, man, that's a wrap.
Cut.
All right. I think you gotta stop the recording.
I thought you was recording.
Nah, mine ended when I dropped out, so I only got half of it.
Hell, I don't even know how to do this shit.
It should be go to the little 3 dots at the bottom where it say more, and it should do a thing where it say stop recording.
Okay.